You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button. The portal news came pretty hot and heavy on Tuesday morning. So, again, as we're following along, on Monday we learned, I guess on Sunday evening we learned about Ricky Collins entering the portal. On Monday we learned about Landon Ibieta. I don't know that there's any great surprise with either of those two. Maybe the first big surprise that came was C.J. Daniels. And this is probably most surprising because 8 days ago, Brian Kelly said this.
He's precise in his route running. He's got strong hands at the point of attack. And we're just excited about having him with us. And all indications are that he's going to be back next year.
I mean, 8 days ago. The Monday press conference after the Vanderbilt win, nobody asked him if Daniels was coming back. The question was about C.J. Daniels battling through injury. Remember, he explained how he had this sort of degenerative, chronic heel thing that he was dealing with. And earlier this year, he missed the Ole Miss game with a knee injury that they thought was kind of a recurrence of a previous injury he had at Liberty. I mean, 8 days ago, Brian Kelly volunteered the information. So what changed in 8 days to where C.J. Daniels was all indications are he's coming back to now he's entering the transfer portal? And I mean, I think this is significant. Daniels was fourth on the team in receptions, fourth on the team in receiving yards. He did not get in the end zone this year, but he was a 1,000-yard receiver a season ago at Liberty. And remember, he has a sixth year. He was a freshman during the COVID year, so that one gets wiped away. And then in 2022, he had that knee injury, which cost him all but 3 games, so that's his redshirt year. So he has another year of eligibility to play a sixth college season. And 8 days ago, Brian Kelly told you all indications were he was coming back to LSU. Now it looks like he's hitting the transfer portal. Now, I could look at receiver and say, okay, I mean, if you get Aaron Anderson back and you get Chris Hilton back and Xavion Thomas back and Kyle Parker's coming off of injury, and if Shelton Sampson sticks around, I don't have any indication that he wouldn't, but it's a 5-star who hasn't played a role in 2 years. And if you go into the portal and get an impact guy, I think you'll be good at receiver. You move Trey'Dez Green there. If you want to blend receiver and tight end, we'll see what happens with guys like Mason Taylor. Does he go pro? Does Kamorian Pimpton return? I mean, that's just being real. That's one that I think you'd look at and go, does Pimpton come back? He was kind of passed as far as the pass-catching tight end by Trey'Dez Green. And really what you need is a blocking tight end. So we'll see what happens. I don't have any insight into that, but it would make a little sense. You're going to lose guys to the portal. That happens to this isn't unique to LSU. It happens to every team, every year, every portal cycle. You are going to lose guys, and you're going to gain guys. And some are going to be obvious, and some are going to be surprises. That's every year. So that's why I keep saying, ask me in a month when I see how all this goes. I could have been convinced C.J. Daniels wouldn't be back, but I thought C.J. Daniels would go pro. Not that he'd enter the transfer portal. Another one that's not a great surprise, but is disappointing just because of the way that his career played out, is Deshaun Womack. So Deshaun Womack is a former 5-star, and so Deshaun Womack is a former 5-star edge who we always have a different, it's just a different standard and expectation when it's a 5-star. Sage Ryan is a case in point of this. If Sage Ryan were a 4-star player, that people were, a local kid, 4-star who came here and became a contributor for 4 seasons, awesome. But he came here as a 5-star with dramatic expectations. He was injured his first year and then basically spent 3 years playing out of position. Playing slot, playing boundary corner, He played safety this year. And I'm not telling you he's an All-American, but he was a serviceable SEC safety. I'm not telling you he was All-American, All-Conference. I'm telling you he was a serviceable starting safety in the SEC. Pro Football Focus grades bear that out. Had an interception against Oklahoma. Again, I ain't telling you he's Jamal Adams. I'm not telling you he's Grant Delpit. I'm telling you he's a serviceable starting safety. But when you put the label of 5-star, expectations go through the roof. Same thing with Womack. But y'all, this is everything you need to know with Womack. He played in 8 games this year. He didn't even travel to Florida. Remember Brian Kelly was asked about Deshaun Womack after that Florida game. This is what he said.
Coach, Deshaun Womack, I believe he didn't travel with the team this past week. What's his availability with you guys moving forward?
He'll be available this week.
That's all he said. Kelly never gave any indication as to what was going on there. I'll tell you, it was discipline related. I mean, he's kind of got the reputation of being a little bit of a knucklehead. And it happens with some guys. Sometimes they're immature. I can also tell you, I remember watching the very first day of practice last year, a fall camp, when they were doing combo block drills. So it was 2 offensive linemen, and the defensive lineman had to try to split the double team. And Deshaun Womack got thrown around like a rag doll. Look, he's a freakishly athletic edge player. That's not debatable. But if you're looking for someone like Savion Jones, Braden Swinson, Gabe Relaford, who can give you the pass rush ability but are also strong at the point of attack against the run, Womack hasn't developed into that. As of right now, he's kind of like a specialized edge rusher, which is okay, it's fine. He just hasn't carved out a role. And when you come somewhere as a 5-star with that type of expectation and it doesn't pan out early, I can understand some frustration. But that's a young guy that, maybe a change of scenery will help him. I get it. It stinks to lose a guy like that because you're thinking, man, that was a 5-star with so much promise. And yes, that's true. But that's also a guy that in 2 years hadn't really carved out much of a role. And then Jordan Allen is the other that entered the portal. Jordan Allen is a DB who got injured this year, was unavailable. 32 tackles in his career with 2 years of eligibility remaining. Another Louisiana guy who lit the portal and try to find greener pastures and more playing time somewhere else. So that's where it stands as of right now. Ricky Collins, Landon Ibieta, CJ Daniels, Deshaun Womack, Jordan Allen. And mark my words, as sure as I am that I'm going to wake up tomorrow bald, there will be more LSU players to enter the transfer portal. It's going to happen. Nobody's immune to it. Every team is going to lose guys to the portal. You do your best to retain as many key players as you can. And with what you lose to the portal, to the draft, to natural attrition, whatever it may be, you replace them with your own portal acquisitions and with your signing fund. Keep saying it. Ask me in a month. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.